It was supposed to be a solemn farewell, a flag-draped casket, a hero's goodbye. But that day, something happened that no one, not the officers, not the family, not the police chief himself, could ever have predicted. It began with a bark. Then another. And another. Louder, more desperate, more relentless. Officer Daniel Walker's K9 partner, a German shepherd named Rex, had been quiet through most of the ceremony, his eyes downcast, his posture rigid with grief. He had lain at the feet of Daniel's colleagues, unmoving, as though understanding that the man he had loved and protected was being laid to rest. But as the casket was lowered into the earth, something inside Rex snapped. He lunged forward, yanking against his leash, his body straining with everything he had. He barked so loud, so violently, it startled mourners out of their silent grief. The officers tried to pull him back. He refused. The police chief motioned to restrain him. Still, Rex wouldn't stop. People watched in stunned silence as the dog threw himself against the side of the casket, sniffing furiously, pawing at it with urgency, panic in his eyes, not mourning. At first, they thought the dog had lost his mind, overcome with grief, confused, broken. But then someone, an older officer who'd known Rex since he joined the force, stepped forward and said quietly, "He's not panicking, he's trying to tell us something." A chill went through the crowd. The chief protested, "We're not opening that casket." He took a shot to the face. It's not a sight his family needs to see. But the cries of Rex drowned out everything. And so, after a few moments of agonizing hesitation, the decision was made. Open it. Let's rewind. It all started in 2017 when a fresh-faced officer named Daniel Walker joined the city's police force. He wasn't interested in traffic duty or desk work. From day one, he requested assignment to the K9 unit. "I grew up with dogs," he had said. "They understand loyalty better than most people ever will." And that's how he met Rex, a 3-year-old German shepherd with a hard past. Rex had been through more than most officers twice his age. He had lost his first handler in a brutal shootout the year before and had since refused to bond with anyone. He followed orders but kept his heart locked away. "Don't expect much," his trainer warned Daniel. "He's not the same dog anymore." But Daniel wasn't intimidated. At first, the connection between them was cold, transactional. Rex followed commands, nothing more. There were no wagging tails, no signs of affection, just silence and distance. Then came the night of their first major assignment. A child had gone missing in the nearby woods. Daniel and Rex were part of the search team. It was raining, and the terrain was difficult. Hours passed with no sign of the boy. Then suddenly, Rex stopped. He sniffed the air, growled once, and bolted off into the dark. Daniel followed, sprinting through mud and branches. And there, curled beneath a fallen tree, was the missing child, frightened but alive. Daniel pulled off his jacket, wrapped it around the boy, and radioed for backup. As the ambulance took the child away, Rex sat beside Daniel, and for the first time, gently rested his head on his handler's knee. That night, something shifted. The walls fell. The bond formed. Over the next 18 months, Daniel and Rex became one of the department's most respected duos. They took down robbers, found missing people, and intercepted illegal shipments. There was a rhythm to their work, a silent language only they understood. Then came the night that changed everything. A call came in, armed robbery in progress. A gang, known for violence and firepower, had taken over a warehouse on the outskirts of town. Daniel and Rex were among the first to respond. The shootout was fast and fierce. Gunfire lit up the night. Several officers were hit. Daniel took 2 bullets to the chest and 1 to the shoulder before collapsing behind cover. 1 officer died on the scene. Another was barely conscious. Rex, too, was shot while trying to drag Daniel out of harm's way. The scene was chaos. 2 officers were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Their faces were bloody. 1 was wrapped in bandages. Paramedics shouted orders. Doctors ran down halls, and in the middle of it all, a mistake was made. A fatal one. The officer who died was misidentified. The bandaged man, unconscious and silent in his hospital bed, was assumed to be someone else. Daniel Walker was declared dead. Back at the precinct, grief swept through the department. A funeral was arranged. A flag was folded. A casket prepared. No one questioned the report. After all, it had come from the doctors themselves. Rex, still recovering from his own wounds, was quiet in the days leading up to the service. But as the funeral began and Daniel's casket was laid before them, Rex's demeanor changed. What started as a low whine grew into a howl. And when the ceremony began, it became a frenzied bark that refused to stop. That's when the casket was opened. And the truth came out. Gasps echoed through the cemetery. Daniel's mother clutched her chest and screamed, "That's not my son." His sister fainted. His fellow officers stood frozen in shock. Because lying inside that casket was not Officer Daniel Walker. It was one of his colleagues, his face disfigured by injury and bandaged beyond recognition. And right then, right there, Rex went silent. He stopped barking, sat down, and looked up calmly, as if to say, "Now you see." The funeral was immediately halted. The police raced to the hospital. Within an hour, the truth was uncovered. In the chaos after the shootout, the hospital had mixed up the identities of the wounded officers. The body that had been sent for burial wasn't Daniel's, it was his partner's. Daniel was alive, unconscious, fragile, fighting for his life in an induced coma. He had already undergone surgery, but no one had realized who he was. The error had gone unchecked for days. No official identification had been done. The force had taken the hospital's word as fact. 3 weeks later, Daniel Walker opened his eyes. His sister was by his side. When they told him what had happened, how close he'd come to being buried alive, he didn't say a word at first. He just asked one question. "Where's Rex?" They brought Rex to the hospital the next day. Despite the IV lines, the machines, the pale skin, Rex recognized him instantly. He rested his head gently on Daniel's hand and let out a low, contented sigh. It was the kind of reunion that words can never describe. Today, Daniel has made a full recovery. His left arm still aches on rainy days. The scars remain, but he's back on the force. He and Rex still serve together. Still walk the beat together. Still save lives together. Their bond is something deeper than friendship. It's beyond partnership. It's the kind of loyalty that defies logic, that crosses lines between life and death, that shakes the foundations of even the most hardened hearts. Because when everyone else was ready to say goodbye, Rex knew the truth. So the next time someone says, "It's just a dog," remember Rex. The dog who barked at a coffin. Because his best friend wasn't inside it.
If this tale moved you, if you felt the tension, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more thrilling, emotional, and inspiring stories your way. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Do you believe dogs have an extraordinary sixth sense? Share your thoughts and personal stories with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.